Hey everyone, welcome to the second episode of Seed to Sale, where in this episode I'm going to talk to you guys about bed preparation and pest management. Now this episode is going to be much more hands-on because we're actually going to be dumping compost and mulch on top of this bed. And the compost I actually acquired for free from Facebook Marketplace, and the mulch I actually acquired from my job for free, which was shredded paper. Now shredded paper as mulch is a bit controversial. It's basically similar to cardboard in the sense that you need to watch out for any sort of dyes or sort of like laminated paper with plastic and stuff. That stuff you should watch out for. But this is basically regular white printer paper that was just shredded, and I'm going to be spreading it. This bag won't necessarily be enough for this entire bed, but it should cover about half of it, at least about half an inch. So we're going to be using this today, and also it breaks down much faster than any other sort of mulch that I know on the market. That includes wood chips, hay, straw, stuff like that. Also, this is much more, I would say, bio-friendly because you're taking paper out of landfill or even out of the water. So this is a much better alternative. And as long as you get your paper ethically and you know what was used in the paper and you know what kind of processes that paper went through in its life, you should be fine. Now the netting that I'll be using is just garden mesh netting that I got on Amazon. This pack was about, I want to say less than 10 bucks. I honestly forgot the price, but I'll put a link in the description in case you guys want to buy it. And you guys can also purchase some hoops from Amazon as well. I purchased mine. It was like a pack of 30 for 7 feet rows. This row is about 20 feet, so I'm just going to double that, and it should be enough. And I've actually already measured it out, and the hoop radius is actually very important. That way you can figure out like how wide your rows have to be. So my hoops, if I put 6 rods together, that covers the entirety of the 6-length bed. So I'm basically, I don't know if you guys can see, I'll move the camera down for you guys real quick. But I'm basically going to put 1, 2, 3, 4 hoops down, maybe even 5 if I can fit that enough, and then just the meshing over net just to protect it from any sort of pest that might come around. So today I was actually going to show you guys my watering system, but unfortunately my hose ended about 50 feet short, so I'm going to have to get a new hose. But we're not going to waste the day. I'm going to go get the compost. We're going to dump it on. I think 4 to 5 trash bag loads should be good enough, and I know that it can fit in my car, so we'll go ahead and start with that, and then we'll put on the road netting, mulch, and hopefully I can put seeds in today if the daylight is long enough, but it's daylight savings time, so fingers crossed. It's been like an hour since I last spoke, and I just picked up the horse manure from Facebook. So I very much underestimated how heavy horse shit is, and because of that I only got 3 bags, but I think 3 bags should be enough to fill in this little area. Let me show you guys again. So I managed to get just 3 bags, but they should have the surface area enough to fill this in for about, I'd say maybe like a quarter, half inch maybe, but I guess we'll see. I'll go open them up for you guys right now, and then I'll spread them out. Now I'm gonna actually just pour it over here and then pour it all the way back, so hopefully that works out. If it doesn't, I'll just get more paper on Monday, so let's see. So other than some loose papers that my coworkers forgot to shred, everything went pretty well. I'm gonna go spread it out real quick. I don't think it's gonna spread that far, but once again, I guess we'll see. And there we have it. I kind of messed up. I put a bit more in the back than I thought I would, but everything else pretty much spread really nicely. Other than my boots smelling like shit, that's a pretty good deal. We got over here, we got free mulch. Other than the back of it being more spread out than the front is actually perfectly fine. My property owner actually just lent me a hose, so we're just going to water it in real quick. It's very important that you water in paper mulch, because if you don't, it'll just kind of blow away and you only get your money's worth, and it's free anyway, so might as well just water it in. Now because it's 5 p.m, this is just going to be a closing final thoughts about my system. So this is a very much cheap way to do this, to prepare a bed, which is perfectly fine. You guys can do this obviously in an expensive way. One expensive way that I would recommend would probably be just prep the bed how I normally did it, with just cultivating it, hoeing out the weeds, hoeing out everything that you don't want, and getting any sort of bags of compost from anywhere you want, Home Depot, Lowe's, or a local nursery would be even better. Just dump it, I would say for this space, about 10-20 bags, and you'll be set within the day, and you could plant seeds right there. And then, now you could do that. It'll cost you about 40-50 bucks, like I said, but I'm doing it the cheap way just because I'm also helping out local farmers dumping out their crap, literally and figuratively. And this paper would otherwise be going into a landfill. And now because of me, it's not because of me, it's going to run to some beautiful sunflowers, and it's also going to be a breeding ground for healthy earthworms, which is always a plus. Like I said, it's late, so this video is going to be a two-parter. This video is obviously going to be about bed prep. Next week's video is going to be about pest management. And while you could leave the bed like this, I would recommend tilling it as well. It's fine if I leave it like this today, but tilling it just kind of incorporates that organic matter much more into the soil. It's going to be like a 50-50 mix of compost and native soil, which is perfectly golden for any sort of plants that you want to plant in. So yeah, watch out for next week's video where I'm going to talk about pest management. And in that video, I will be putting in my seeds as well as my lettuce seedlings, which is going to be a bit of an Easter egg for, or rather a spoiler for next week's video on pest management, how you can use other plants to lure in beneficial insects or draw away harmful insects. So keep an eye out for that and have a good one.